When our income is tight and our savings low, we tend to try to cut expenses as much as we can. And food tend to be on the top of our list of things to cut. No fancy steak, no eating out, and certainly no caviar. However, it can be easy to forget or unnotice that some of the healthiest foods in the world are often not as expensive as we think and tend to be cheaper than less healthy options. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through 10 cheap, healthy foods that tend to be affordable almost everywhere. These are foods that can stretch your budget, keep you full, and still help you take care of your body. No perfection, no extremes, just realistic food choices. Let's get into it. The first one are bananas. Bananas might be one of the most underrated foods on the planet. They're cheap, they're everywhere, and they require absolutely zero effort. No cooking, no prep, no cleaning. You just peel and eat. From a nutrition standpoint, bananas give you quick energy from natural carbs, a decent amount of fiber and potassium, which helps with muscle function and overall balance in the body. They're great before a workout, great as a snack, and great when you just need something filling between meals. What makes bananas especially budget-friendly is how versatile they are. You can eat them on their own, slice them into oatmeal, blend them into smoothies, mash them into pancakes, or even freeze them when they start to get too ripe. And when bananas get spotty and soft, they're actually perfect for baking or blending, so nothing goes to waste. If you're trying to eat healthier without spending much money, bananas are one of the easiest wins you can get. The second one are eggs. Eggs are one of the best examples of cheap food that punches way above its weight. They're affordable, filling, and packed with nutrients like protein, healthy fats, and important vitamins. What makes eggs so valuable on a tight budget is how many meals they can turn into something substantial. A couple of eggs can instantly make breakfast more filling. They can turn rice into a complete meal. They can upgrade vegetables. They can be boiled ahead of time and eaten on the go. Eggs are also very flexible. You can scramble them, fry them, boil them, bake them, or mix them into other dishes. And because they're high in protein, they help keep you full longer, which can actually save money over time by reducing snacking. For the price, it's hard to beat eggs. They're simple, efficient, and incredibly useful. The third one is peanut butter. Peanut butter is one of those foods that feels almost too good for how cheap it is. It's calorie-dense, filling, and packed with healthy fats and some protein, and a small amount goes a long way. On a tight budget, foods that keep you full are extremely important. Peanut butter does exactly that. A spoonful with a banana, some oats, or a slice of bread can turn a small snack into something that actually holds you over. It's also shelf-stable, which means it lasts a long time and doesn't spoil quickly. That's huge when you're trying to reduce waste. You don't have to worry about it going bad in a few days. The key here is to keep it simple. Basic peanut butter, without a long list of added sugars and oils, is usually the cheapest and the healthiest option. It's not fancy, but it's effective. The fourth one are frozen vegetables. Frozen vegetables are one of the smartest budget choices you can make. They're often cheaper than fresh vegetables, they last much longer, and they're usually frozen at peak freshness, which means they keep a lot of their nutrients. When money is tight, fresh produce can be risky. It spoils quickly, and if you don't use it in time, you end up throwing money away. Frozen vegetables remove that problem completely. You use what you need, put the rest back in the freezer, and nothing goes to waste. They're also incredibly easy to cook. You can steam them, stir-fry them, roast them, or add them directly to soups and rice. And because they're already washed and chopped, they save time as well as money. Frozen vegetables make healthy eating more practical. They take away pressure and make it easier to eat vegetables consistently, even on a budget. The fifth one are potatoes. Potatoes have been feeding people for centuries for a reason. They're cheap, filling, and surprisingly nutritious. Despite their bad reputation, potatoes are actually rich in vitamins, minerals, and fiber, especially when eaten with the skin. One of the biggest advantages of potatoes is how filling they are. They have a high satiety level, which means they keep you full longer compared to many other foods. That's incredibly valuable when you're trying to make food last. Potatoes are also very versatile. You can boil them, bake them, roast them, mash them, or add them to soups and stews. They work as a main food or a side, and they pair well with almost anything. As long as you're not drowning them in oil or turning them into deep-fried snacks, potatoes are a solid, budget-friendly staple that can anchor a lot of meals. The sixth one is rice. Rice is a global staple for a reason. It's cheap, filling, easy to store, and incredibly versatile. A bag of rice can last a long time and serve as the base for dozens of meals. On its own, rice is simple and neutral, but that's actually a strength. You can combine it with eggs, beans, vegetables, tuna, or almost anything else to create a complete meal. It stretches other ingredients and helps you feel full without spending much. Rice is also easy to cook in large batches, which makes meal planning simpler. You can cook it once and use it across multiple meals throughout the week. When money is tight, having a reliable base food like rice can make everything feel more manageable. The seventh one are beans and lentils. Beans and lentils are some of the most budget-friendly protein sources available. They're cheap, filling, and packed with fiber, protein, and important minerals. One of the biggest benefits of beans and lentils is how satisfying they are. The combination of protein and fiber helps keep hunger away for longer periods of time, which is huge when you're trying to stretch your food budget. They're also incredibly versatile. You can add them to rice, soups, stews, salads, or eat them on their own with simple seasoning. Dried beans are especially cheap, but canned beans are still affordable and much more convenient. Beans and lentils are proof that you don't need expensive meat to eat well. The eighth food is canned tuna or canned sardines. Canned fish like tuna or sardines is one of the cheapest ways to get high-quality protein and healthy fats, especially omega-3s. And because it's canned, it lasts a long time without refrigeration. These foods are especially helpful when fresh meat or fish is too expensive. A can of tuna or sardines can quickly turn rice, pasta, or vegetables into a balanced meal. Sardines in particular are very nutrient-dense. They're rich in calcium, vitamin D, and healthy fats, all for a very low cost. Tuna is lean, filling, and easy to work with. Canned fish might not feel exciting, but it's practical, efficient, and incredibly valuable on a budget. The ninth one is Greek yogurt. Greek yogurt is one of those foods that gives you a lot for the price. It's high in protein, filling, and versatile enough to work in both sweet and savory meals. You can eat it on its own, mix it with oats, add fruit, or use it as a base for sauces and dips. It can even replace more expensive ingredients like sour cream or cream-based dressings. When choosing Greek yogurt on a budget, plain versions are usually the cheapest and the healthiest. You can always add your own flavor with fruit or honey if needed. It's a simple food that adds protein and balance to meals without costing much. And finally, the 10th food are oats. Oats are one of the most reliable budget foods out there. They're cheap, filling, and incredibly flexible. A bag of oats can last a long time and provide countless meals. Oats are rich in fiber, which helps with digestion and keeps you full. They're perfect for breakfast, but they don't have to stop there. You can make savory oats, bake them, or even blend them into smoothies. They also pair well with other cheap foods like bananas, peanut butter, and yogurt, which makes them even more useful. If you're on a tight budget, oats are one of the smartest staples you can keep in your kitchen. Now, there are a lot of healthy foods that people talk about all the time that didn't make this list. Foods like avocados, olive oil, chicken breast, whole grain bread, apples, cottage cheese, quinoa, and leafy greens like spinach. These foods are healthy, no question. But depending on where you live, they can be significantly more expensive than the foods we just talked about. And when money is tight, affordability matters more than ideals. This list isn't about perfect nutrition, but actually about realistic choices that work for most people most of the time. The main takeaway here is simple. Eating healthy doesn't have to be expensive. When you focus on basic, widely available foods that have fed people for generations, you can eat well without spending much money. These foods may not be trendy, but they're reliable, filling, and genuinely nourishing. If you found this video helpful, click on one of those showing at your screen right now. I'll see you in the next one.